I want to see him do well today. Win or lose, I feel like if we see the creator prime of old, like a really solid build for the map, really macro-oriented sort of strategy here to defend against probably the aggression, the cheese coming out from Shine, then that's the kind of play I want to see. Something that's smart, no nerve issues today, just coming in here saying, it's just the second week of Pro League. It's just the first round. I know our team's struggling a little bit, but let's talk about Shine. He will cheese your mom.
He will.
6-pulled more times than you've ever even played ladder.
It's actually probably true is the funny part. He doesn't have the best record here at Pro League, but he's got a very distinct style, a very annoying style. He's like the sniper for one player, namely Sulky. He's cheesed that guy, I think, 2 or 3 times in ZVZ and made him really angry. Sulky has not been able to defeat him just yet. He's just been that kind of utility, like technical, aggressive Zerg player for Samsung Galaxy Con, and fills a weird role.
Yeah. Oh, this song is a classic, man.
Yeah, love it.
Well, as you mentioned, Creator is 2-10 versus Zerg, and he looks kind of pumped right now. I say is the way I would describe it, the way he's looking right now. He really needs to prove himself, not only to his team, but to his fans. This guy has fallen so far, was once one of the best Protosses in the world, one of the youngest as well. Going into King Sejong Station, a 2-player map. Shine, known for aggression, known for cheesy play. Creator just needs to be that shield that he's always been. Let's see if he can bring us to the ace match, or if Samsung is going to close it out 3-1.
Down here in the bottom right, in the red, the Zerg player, it is Shine.
And his opponent to the top left in blue, it's Creator. Let me give you guys a little bit of Creator's history for those who don't know him, as well as a player like Shine, for example, who's really just quite famous for cheesing. This is, by the way, just talking about Kanada's show Tip of God, where he just gave people a lot of tips about how to play StarCraft. So Creator Prime is known for his macro play in PvT. The first time he ever got famous was in the Super Tournament, where in the very first round, which I think was the round of 64, that was a huge tournament, that was an awesome tournament, he almost beat MVP in macro PvT, and everyone was like, oh my god, who is this guy? Then he started developing a fast 3+3+3 style with Double Forge. When no one was able to consistently make that work in Korea, although, the style, I guess, really originated with players like Noni making the foreign scene, but he was the first person to make that work in Korea. Then became one of the best and most consistent PvP players in the world when he was playing in BWC Korea and did insanely well in that tournament, and then went on, of course, to play in the Grand Finals in China. And ever since then, though, he just hasn't been as consistent of a player. He still loves his macro style. People often joke that he never attacks. He only defends.
Yeah.
But he's a great player, and he's got a long-standing history in StarCraft 2.
That he does. And just talking about this game for the beginning, we do have a pool first for Shine. And usually that indicates that you're scared, that you want to be a bit safe. You don't want to put down your hatchery first just in case of cannons. And Shine, not getting the scout on, just trying to be safe, putting that pool first. Wants to be sure he doesn't get cannoned and ended here and forced into an ace match.
Creator does drop a gateway down here instead of a forge, actually. And with no scout, he doesn't know that it's a pool first. So this is going to be something that is going to be a little bit annoying for him before he has his first zealot out. Shine might be able to get a lot of scouting information with those lings and just continue to be annoying. The gate's in the main as well, so he doesn't have a wall set up as natural.
Yeah. Shine does now see the Nexus first with that Overlord. And he's going to immediately only make 4 links. No follow-up here, just 4. And going to continue going into drone production. Like you were saying, just be annoying in the main base. Just try to run around, get the scouting information, maybe pick off a probe at most, I'd say.
Yeah, I think taking a third base behind this just with the 4 lings is the smart choice to do. This isn't the most Shine-like thing in the world to do, but it's the right choice. Just come in here, see what you can get done. Don't take your gases. Send those extra minerals on the third base. And this is going to force lost mining time from Creator. He does have to make the Zealot. The lings should be able to run around the Zealot and avoid him. And he forces lost mining time here already at the natural. Now going to come into the main base. He's going to scout that there's no forge at all, of course. Going to see the timing of the Cyber Core. Almost gets a probe. And actually loses a ling. Not the best control we've ever seen out of Shine.
Now he's got this one Zergling left. There was one actually trying to be annoying at the natural as well. But he will join up with his buddy and come into the main and just run around in circles until that Mothership Core has come out. And he will be forced away.
Yep, the Mothership Core is actually spawning at the natural smartly by Creator to actually try to catch these lings. Doesn't happen, but mining has gone back to normal here. Third base timing is scouted from Creator. Such an important thing to scout against a player like Shine who's known for his aggression. Creator even nodding, you could see there in the camera shot. Like he's like, okay, third base going down, I got this. I actually love that how Creator plays the game so methodically and oftentimes ends up talking to himself or getting really hyped in the booth.
Yeah. It's great to see. It shows that this guy really cares. It's the reason why he's so emotional all the time. You know, when he loses, he takes it really hard. He cries. When he wins, he's very energetic, pumps his fists, that kind of guy. We do see the Overlord in the main base. He does get the scout on the Stargate. So very useful information for Shine as well.
Yeah. I mean, Shine knows that Creator likes to play like this. He's able to confirm this. So give him ample time to get his spores up. This one Zealot going to come over here. He wants to see... Uh-oh, a pause by Shine. The Zealot wants to come over and see if he can actually see, for example, how many drones are mining at that third base, what's going on over there. He just wants to make sure Shine's not doing some sort of crazy roach haul, and it's just a cool little scout that can also force units to be made.
Yeah. We already saw, actually, on the production tab, before we went to this bit of a break, that he was making 8 Zerglings to deal with this. You do see it over there on your observing PC.
Yeah. So, no information just yet about the pause, as there's been no chatting in the lobby, and I don't have any feed of what they just said to Shine, so we'll have to just wait and see.
Immediately, 3 refs run into there and just try to find out the problem. Of course, we are running on a schedule, so these guys want to get it fixed as soon as possible. You see Creator looking a bit nervous. You know, sometimes once you get into the game, like before the game, you may be really nervous, you know, taking deep breaths, closing your eyes, amping yourself up. But then once you get in, you're like in your zone. Then once you hit a pause, you get popped right out of that zone. And you're going to have to get right back in it. It's hard to deal with sometimes.
It's like when you're trying to jog or go for a run in the city and you hit a red light and you kind of have to just jog in place for a second, but your rhythm gets a little bit broken and you're just kind of trying to keep that focus. I think you can kind of see a little bit of that sort of mentality in Creator on this camera shot earlier. Now, by the way, we don't talk about this too much in SSL when we have pauses because there's not really any, any warnings or free points given or anything like that. But this is a pause that, if is decided, was like a hotkey problem, for example, might actually give a warning, and it is a hotkey problem. So a warning is actually given with this pause. So just keep that in mind, guys, because that's something that could become important later on as the season starts to progress.
I believe it's if you begin to ramp up and get like 2 or 3 warnings or something, you can have points deducted. So you definitely want to eliminate those warnings that you do receive and just make sure that you deal with your hotkeys before the game starts. But unfortunately for Shine, you know, he wants to make sure he wins the game, so he'll be more willing to take a warning and be just comfortable with all his hotkeys than, you know, possibly hit the wrong key in a very important match like this. So he will call for the pause.
You know, it might even be just something as simple as that he forgot to change the way he injects, and he was trying to make it work because he didn't want to pause, but he was like, you know what, this is actually just messing with my macro too much, it's messing with me too much. I gotta pause and do this. I don't actually know, and now that I think about it, I will try to confirm this, if you're allowed to change hotkeys without pausing, because he might be able to like change it really quick in the game. Like if he's like fast enough, obviously that would really be annoying and would affect your play quite a bit. But I don't even know if you're allowed to do that. So, anyways, the game is resumed now. The hotkeys have been fixed. And here comes that Zealot now into the third base location. He's going to check the drone count, force that one drone that's there to move. And like you mentioned, those 8 lings, now in fact 12 lings being made. It's pretty annoying just for 100 minerals of a Zealot coming across the map.
Yeah. Well, This will be dealt with. All the Lings will go on the chase. They are faster than the Zealot, even without speed, so you'll be eventually hunted down. Already out on the map, he does have the Stalker and the Mother Core trying to be annoying. He's trying to put the pressure, trying to force out all those units we were talking about, while he does have Phoenixes on the way. He was actually able to snipe one of the Overlords, or maybe even two of the Overlords, because Shine was a very supply block for a while there.
Yeah, he didn't actually pre-make his new Overlords when the Phoenixes were killing those two, so that cost him quite a bit of production time. The Creator is just going to sit over here, sit pretty behind this wall against the massive amount of Lings that he forced. Since Ling speed is not going to be done for a while, Creator doesn't have to worry about big Ling attacks just yet. He doesn't know that, but you know, with these slow Ling series, he's going to take his time taking the third base. He wants to harass these Phoenixes first, get in there and see what he can get done, and take the third base when he feels more comfortable. Spore Crawler's already finishing up here, 3 of them. This Overlord, a bit out of place, though. Looks like he's going to be able to pick that one off pretty easily.
Yep, should be able to. He's going to join up with his Phoenix buddies here. He's got 3 now. 4th one on the way.
Yeah, and
Flying across the map.
He almost drew that Queen out of the range of the Spore. If he could do that, then the 4 Phoenixes can actually pick up the Queen and kill it with 1 lift. So he has to be very careful about how he controls his Queens. There goes that third base now. He feels comfortable with those sentries and those Zealots to actually be able to hold this. Might grab some gas drones here with those Phoenixes. He's just being very conservative with them. Doesn't want to take too much shield damage.
Yep, here we go with the lift on the gas drones. Looks like he got 2. And at the same time, trying to go for a run-by at the front was Shine. He does have the speed now on his Lings, but just barely able to warp in a Zealot for the defense.
That lightning fast reaction time there on that Zealot warp in. I mean, he was harassing with his Phoenixes just a second before. And now Shine, in typical Shine fashion, is going to attack with some Roaches to try to punish this base. But I think this Roach count is too small, even with the Lings he's joined up with. And Creator, just a bit concerned about this. Rather than continue to harass the worker lines, is actually just going to pick off a few Roaches for free. There's nothing the Roaches can do about this.
Yep.
And even if they try to turn around, he's still going to be able to kill them.
The biggest thing about this is that it's all free. It's free damage. You're killing all of these units that your opponent made with the minerals and gas for free.
And
of course,
Larva.
you did have to pay for the Phoenixes at first, but still, they stay alive. And it's not like you're trading. You're going to have them later on to be annoying. And we're having another pause.
Oh, God. This is
Shine.
not good, man. I hope this is not another issue that's his. I hope it's a computer problem.
Seems like something was wrong with his mouse pad. Like some crumbs underneath or something. I don't know. It's looking kind of strange in there.
Yeah, no, I mean, that definitely can happen. Because that sort of thing can really affect the way you move your mouse. I don't know what mouse it is, by the way. It looks really cool. I've never seen that before. It might be a new Razer mouse. I don't know because he's using a Razer mouse pad. But anyway, the second pause here is something that we'll probably get an update on in just a second because, I mean, it's up to the referees to decide. Like, if he paused because he had a crumb under his mouse pad or something, like, who does he? Is that like you know?
Is that a warning?
Is that a warning?
What does
actually,
that count
like,
for?
what does that mean? That's something like I don't know. I mean, the Kessler
Who
rulebook
put the crumb there? You know,
the Kessler rulebook actually has like pretty much a rule for everything. They have to like flip to page of rule 26B YX21, and like it's like the crumb under the mouse pad situation like is up to the referee's discretion. And it's like okay. Okay, so everything is ready. Says in the chat here. So we're just gonna go ahead and start just reporting everything here. And I guess we're going to get the official update in our headsets as well in just a second as to what the decision is here.
Yeah, we were talking about before about the warnings. If you get a bunch of them, if this is decided that it is his fault, it could definitely be
by the way,
annoying here for Samsung.
A ton of minerals banked up for Shine right now, who's going into a Spire and Infestation Pit, so he could be intentionally banking those up, but if he wanted to be making a lot more Roaches, for example, with the Roach speed that's just finishing right now, maybe he missed that production cycle somehow because of his hotkeys or something. I really don't know, but he's now getting the Swarmos upgrade, so we'll just have to wait and see. It's just going to be a mystery, I guess, for now, like what happened.
Well, no warning. Okay, so it wasn't a warning about the hotkeys, but it was a warning this time because it was something under his mouse pad.
Well, Phoenix does go down here for Creator. And yeah, I mean, I guess just close this issue out. It is his responsibility to check the desk. Flash isn't going to be able to pause every time like his tape moves slightly on his mouse pad right. Like, okay, big move out here for Creator. He's even got a Void Ray with this army. He wants to hit that 4th base before it's ready to defend. He scouts his Phoenixes. There's like no units. He's like, you have like no units. I've been over here with my Phoenixes. I haven't seen anything yet. Yeah. And he can always recall if things go badly.
And the reason he doesn't have any units is because he was saving for all of these Swarm hosts. He's now got 7 to defend this 4th base right in the middle. And once Creator does see that, he will back off, as he does not have any AoE just yet. He does have 1 Colossus now, and he's adding a 2nd robotics facility.
Yeah, and with these Locusts, with these Swarm hosts, he's not going to be able to attack like he wanted to. But he definitely postured around a little bit. And had he not seen those, would have definitely moved in there to say, you know what, I'm just going to kill this and recall. And Creator is known for this style. He has literally ever since the beginning of Part of the Swarm, I've only seen him play this style in this matchup, which is Void Ray Colossus. It was the style that everyone was saying was broken in the beginning of the game because Void Ray is really strong. They kill Corruptors so fast, and the Colossus deals everything on the ground. But Zergs have since figured out how to beat this style. It still happens every now and then, but Creator, he loves this style. It's absolutely the style he picks the most. Like I said, I don't think I've ever seen him not play this style in this matchup. These Lings are going to find this army, but he's got a recall, and he's just going to poke through these, see what damage he can get done. Good force fields there.
Met with some Locusts, immediately does back off. Does have the double Colossi production, probably going to begin. He has 2 extra Stargates coming down. Begin this kind of production.
Triple Voids.
Yep, triple Voids. But again, it's hard to produce all of this stuff only on 3 bases.
Oh, he needs to recall. That was... Ooh, that was actually so scary. That
3 Stalkers do get left behind, so... Well, they do have blanks, so they will be totally fine.
That was a very delayed reaction there by Creator. That could have cost him big time, man. Well, already Shine is making a hive, which I never thought I'd say those words before in the same sentence in that order, but he's going to be able to get, with this, of course, Vipers to pull Colossi, to pull the Void Rays. That's going to be one of his key defensive units he's going to be able to use to control the map and beat this Protoss Death Ball.
Yeah, very true. Do see Creator take the base on the right side of the map. He's not going to take it in the middle. It's a bit harder with the annoying Locust always coming your way, especially with the uptime increased here with that upgrade. And he's just going to slowly push, try to maybe reroute those Locusts, try to go towards the rocks, try to drop at the same time. Do see Shine already setting up a good spine crawler wall there where the rocks were destroyed, so it is going to be a bit harder for Creator to try to put on aggression through there. He may decide to drop in the main, but already Shine has got his number with these Corruptors on the way.
Oh, nice. He's going to pick this off. Almost getting the Zealots, actually. Creator does react quickly enough, though. So, I like that you mentioned the spine wall, because that's going to be really important. The Swarmos are really slow. Locusts are slow, and obviously that could be abused sometimes with these Warp Prism drops, so these spines are so important. And also vision and being able to spot this, like what you were talking about with speaking that Warp Prism, is just really, really important. And Shine is actually showing us some great late game play right now. He's getting 2/2 upgrades. He's getting his Flyer upgrades as well as Adrenal Glands. He's getting all the upgrades in the book for that Hive Tech that's going to be useful for him in the late game. And hasn't made any Vipers yet. He's just holding off on that for now. Whereas we have a Mothership on the way for Creator. He may add Tempest, but not something that he needs just yet.
Yeah, not quite yet. Could also be getting that Fleet Beacon for the extra air upgrades. He's already got that +1 about to finish. So he's very much also like he's focusing on making more air units here. He's got a ton of Void Rays already, making 3 at a time. I think he's going to go up to about 14 or 15 as he maxes out here. And he's only got 4 Colossi in the mix.
By the way, this Spire is very exposed, and these Zealots have +3. So this is going to be something that he could target down right away. And in fact, does target down right away. There's a second Spire right next to it that he could also get. Shine not reacting here at all. He pulled his drones, but man, you got to defend those Spires, dude. Second Spire gets canceled. And that's a pretty big blow to his tech. He can't make any more Corruptors for a while.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. If you look at his army comp right now, he's got Swarm Hosts, he's got Vipers, he's got Corruptors, but he's only got a small number of Lings to deal with this as well, and they just were not in position to deal with that. So Very unfortunate, but a really nice snipe there by Creator. And with that, he's like, oh, okay, you're not going to be making areaness for a while. I can take my 5th base.
And you know what's great against Void Rays, which we've seen in this matchup time and time again, is fungal growth. He lost his pathogen glands upgrade and his infestation pit, which means that he can't actually make any infestors. He doesn't have any fungal growth. So losing that, another big blow here to Shine's late game. Tempests are on the way. The Dark Shrine for harassment. He's getting, he's got a second Cybernetics core. Like, he's making double upgrades. He's getting Storm. He's going to be able to have Archons in just a second whenever he wants to add those.
Really nice job by Shine to actually not even force that cancel. He actually kills that 5th base as it's coming up here. And I hope that Creator has kept that Zealot there. Okay, he has. But what defense does he have at that 3rd base? Not much besides a cannon. That's a lot of Lings.
That's a lot of Lings indeed. 1 or 2 Zealot Warpins could help out against this, of course, with a +3. The Lings actually do have Adrenal Glands and 2/2 upgrades, so they're pretty strong Lings as well. Keep in mind that even without the Spires that just got remade, by the way, he's researching +2/2. He has 16 Corruptors on the map, but there are 14 Void Rays, and 1 Void Ray can kill about 3 Corruptors on its own. So, I mean, in this type of ratio, man, this fight will be insanely one-sided if the Corruptors actually engage the Void Rays directly. So that's where these Vipers come into play.
Yep. We also have a ton of High Templar on the map for Creator. Or not a ton, I guess he's got about 4 there, but what I'm trying to say is he's got enough for a ton of Storms onto that big ball of Corruptors that you usually see. Unless he spreads them out nicely, he can actually add a ton of damage to add to that Void Ray burst.
The Tempest doesn't have that dot damage that it's going to get in Legacy of the Void just yet, but still can pick away at Corruptors, can pick away at Spore Crawlers. And this Mothership over here just a little bit too slow to cloak those building structures to stop them from being killed by the Locusts.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention about the High Templar as well, feedbacks for the Vipers, feedbacks for the Infestors, feedbacks for everything, even the Queens out on the map at the moment. It's going to be great. It's going to be underneath that cloak from the Mothership as well, so it's going to be very hard to snipe them out. It's going to be very easy for Creator to be able to feedback a ton of stuff.
Yeah, those Stalkers over there actually being thrown away to free up supply for Creator, it seems, because he was maxed out. Making a ton of static defense right now, so that obviously he can, you know, utilize those minerals to defend the Locust without using any of his expensive gateway units. You know, the Archons, for example. I guess the most expensive gateway unit he would lose.
Shine has brought back all of his Corruptors to deal with these 3 Phoenixes, while Creator's going for a giant attack at the 5th base. A huge fungal on all of those Void Rays.
And a forced recall on the Mothership core because he yanked it right underneath those spores. Meanwhile, by the way, we didn't talk about this at all. I just didn't even notice it. There's Baneling's speed, and he's actually got a huge Baneling run by setup over here. This could be nuts. He could actually come in there and do a lot of damage with Banelings. This is definitely not something that Creator is ever going to expect. Even seeing those rocks go down, he's like, oh yeah, standard, whatever, you're going to do Ling run bys. Definitely not going to see these Banelings coming, that is for sure. Also to note, he has Burrow. He's been using that this entire game, and that's something you could set up traps for later, but here come the Banes the first time he sees them. Gonna break through these cannons, no problem. Let's see how many probes he can kill.
Not so many probes here at the natural, and he actually was able to take down all of the probes besides the gas ones. But again, he does reveal it to Creator, so Creator's now got to respond, maybe set up a wall over there with some buildings.
Yeah, I mean, when we get to Supreme late game like this, you could actually just do a huge Baneling attack into the main to kill infrastructure. I mean,
yeah.
If you have that much money and Creator allows you, if he doesn't wall up, he doesn't deal with those Banes, you can keep getting them over there. Maybe you can blow up his Stargates. Something we see oftentimes in this matchup. Oh, hold that thought. When Border gets yanked, but it costs him a whole Viper to do that. Yep. Sometimes we see burrowed Banelings in mineral lines for bases that haven't been taken yet. So you could set up, say, 5 or 6 Banelings in the next base Creator takes and then detonate them once the probes get transferred over. We've seen that before.
Yeah, the one over to the left, that one remaining base for Creator, if he wants to take it eventually. It would be a great place to put down those burrowed Banelings. We do see Creator trying to put on the aggression, trying to slowly move toward that 5th base, maybe pick off some of these Corruptors first, but he's being very slow about it, being very careful.
Now, Neural Parasite is on the way. Sometimes this can be the way that you can actually grab onto your opponent's Mothership and, you know, take away that cloaking. Oh, great fungal here.
Oh, unbelievable fungal. He catches all of the High Templar.
And he wants to grab that Mothership core, or rather, Mothership, and he does get it. So a great grab there. Just seeing that it was already low on energy, or rather low on hit points, and just right-clicking on it with those Corruptors, having that opportunity with those fungled High Templar. Meanwhile, more Stalkers using them for harass over here on the high ground because he wants to get rid of that supply anyways. This is a great way to do it.
Ooh, DT's in the mix as well. Can run those down there. There are Spore Crawlers for detection, but at the same time, Creator's like, oh, this is actually a pretty good spot. You do not have that much set up here. You have all the spines in the front, but I can start harassing that line with my Tempest Seed. And
yeah, he's got his whole army over here because he knows all the Locusts are rallied down the middle. And, you know, the Stag defense is only at the front, like you said.
One problem about that is, of course, he doesn't have his Mothership or Mothership Core in this, so he can't recall.
Yeah.
And now he gets a bit out of position, getting 2 of his Tempest grab.
It's going to cost him quite a bit. You know, Creator could actually try to force an engagement with his Void Rays alone if the Infestors aren't here. He might even be able to right-click on that hatchery with the Prismatic Alignment and kill that. There's that base we were talking about. Instead of having Burrowed Banelings, he does have a Burrowed Ling. Stop the Nexus from going up in general. Another small group of Stalkers here, and a group of Banelings is spotted. So Creator is going to take note of this to his base that he's got to the top right, because that's probably going to be the location where these Banelings roll in, and here they come. Creep spread really good here for Shine as well in this game. He might just right-click on the Nexus.
He's just rolling in. He's killing a ton of probes. 19 probes go down. He's got the follow-up of Lings to focus down that Nexus as well. This base is totally in tatters. Nothing mining there.
Well, these Lings, they've got, you know, +3 attack. They have Adrenal Glands. They can just kill a Nexus so quickly, especially after what happened with the Banelings to do that extra damage. Bungles here, not the best, actually. Really good control, good zoning with those Colossi to keep those Infestors back while the Void Rays do their damage over here to the right side. All that Stag defense got cleared up. This base is toast. This base is history. Doesn't even have to use Prismatic.
Just trying to get this Viper over, but he doesn't have enough energy. He's got to suck some out of one of the buildings first.
Creator has 20 Void Rays. That's a lot of Void Rays.
How are the upgrades for Zarian? Can I check that?
Yeah, it's 3-3.
3-3.
He's only missing the shields, which he's getting right now.
Yeah.
3-3 is going to be up for Shine soon.
Yeah, once he matches that, it's going to make it a bit easier to fight against those Voiders. Of course, Voider is very strong against the Corruptors, but you do what you can with what you've got.
Well, a bunch of Spores being remade here, and some good grab, you know, potential there. Does get a Tempest. I guess he didn't have enough energy to grab one of those High Templar. Would have been a cool grab. Got to be careful, of course, of the feedback, so not an easy grab to take. Well, this base has been taken now. Creator does need it to get that gas mining back up because his gas bank is pretty depleted, and he's taking the base to the top right as well. Something to consider, Shine's bank, 8,000, 5,000 right now, so he can make whatever he wants because he basically has every upgrade in the game. The only upgrade he's missing is the +3 for missile weapons, which is probably the least important one in this matchup.
And that he's getting right now anyway, you know. So he will have it eventually.
Yeah.
And with the way this game is going, we're probably going to be here for a long while. Unless Creator does want to put on the pressure. Could see a huge fight right now. This is all these Void Rays coming into effect. 20 of them.
He needs to wipe these. All right, Fungals here are excellent, but he needs to be careful because he actually has to finish these off, and that has to be done very carefully.
Oh, he's linking up those Fungals. He's kind of waiting a bit here. He doesn't want to send his Corruptors just yet. Trying to pick up what he can. He's trying not to be too greedy.
That he is. Some nice pickoffs there, but yeah, like you said, not too greedy. I think that's the best way to put it. I mean, he was not going to throw away too many Infestors for this. Now, the most common follow-up with the huge bank that we see from Shine, if you ever wipe the Voids and, you know, the small amount of the ground army, is to just go into mass amount of Mulas. He's going to have 3-3 for those, but he still has to deal with the Storm and the Archons. So just putting that out there. You know, there's 4 Archons on the map. There's only 3 High Templar. More Banelings coming in. I really like this. We don't see this almost ever in late game ZVP, and I think it's a great addition.
It's just a bit of a Shine touch, like a Shine spice into this game.
Yeah.
Very, very cool to see. Definitely agree. Creator now going to come all the way back behind this 4th base. Just trying to put on some pressure, eliminate that mining, but the Mothership does get pulled and taken out away from the entire army.
I think it's time to stop making that, actually. It's too expensive in gas. It's not actually giving Creator any utility at all anymore in this game. And he's going to grab a few units here. Meanwhile, no defense set up. He doesn't have enough money to set up static defense. He's going to lose another Colossus. Creator's army is falling apart, and he does not have the bank to allow things like this to happen. 2 more Colossi go down.
Really nice placement right there, that positioning to drag them down the hill so that Creator couldn't get there in time. Able to pick off 2 Colossi. Those are so expensive, like you're mentioning. He's only got 1 Colossus now. He's making 2 at a time. But where's the gas? He's not mining from the gas, or he's not mining the minerals from that base.
Yeah. Finally just gets this gas up. He's not even mining 3 in the gas. That's like the most important thing he needs to be mining right now. He's actually remaking the mothership core. Making the mothership on itself is another story. I'm not sure if that's actually something he wants to remake right now. That would deplete his entire gas bank. He needs these 2 Colossi because otherwise Locusts are just going to just take him, apart bit by bit. Another Void Ray gets pulled. A second one. If he could get an Archon, that would be huge, but going to lose that Viper maybe.
Oh, move the Viper!
The feedback wouldn't kill it, so he's actually not even going to do that. I'm surprised he's not targeting that Viper. That Viper is just like the biggest tease right now. He feedbacks it and blinks on it. Costs him a Stalker. A few more Stalkers over here keep on doing that harassment. You might even want to just make a spine on the high ground.
Yeah, you could at this point. As the observer is pointing out to us, the bank of Shine is insane. It's something that we talk about a ton in these late game matches. Who has the bigger bank? Who has the mining potential? And so far, that's Shine by a huge amount.
More and more of these Void Rays getting grabbed here. Archon's trying to come in on top of the Corruptors. And again, he waits until those Locusts are coming down. He baits that army in, just runs back. Very conservative, careful play. DTs don't want to fight Banelings usually. Be careful, little DT. You know what's going to happen when you kill that Baneling, right? But I like how he is engaging this just so cautiously. He's actually going to go for the pylons because these are cracklings, man.
Only 2 pylons. That's not enough. The army of Creator is forced back at that 4th base all the way to the left. And now the mining here at the mid is going to be totally taken out. You can take down that Nexus. It's going to force Creator to move out here.
Into a ton of stack defense. The Locust. Creator is pretty spent, to be quite frank with you guys.
That he is. He's got 1 mining base right now.
2 Colossi get yoinked and fungled and targeted down, and Creator's going to take this opportunity to move forward and Storm. The Storm hitting a few Corruptors, but mostly static defense, which doesn't take any Storm damage. Every piece of shields that he loses on these Archons is so scary, because he cannot lose those. He cannot replace them. He has no gas. He's decided to spend it on 4 Void Rays. Even the Assimilator is being taken out here carefully by Shine.
Yeah, this is just awesome play out of Shine, I really have to say. We tout him as this guy who's super aggressive early game Zerg, but he comes out here in a late game against a very strong Protoss and Creator, and he's able to show some awesome play. Really happy to see this.
Goodbye, Mothership. He actually remade that. Didn't do anything for him. And went down.
Look at that fungal. Holy crap.
Yeah, it doesn't have a follow-up one, sadly, but look at this. Creator's starting to get a bit, desperate and moves right into those spores and all those fungals, losing his Archons to the Locusts. And again, Shine, after he takes this,
do it.
He's just going to fight this, it looks like, because he knows that he can just make Mutilus. He's going to kill these Voids, as many as he can. He's actually just going to remax the Corruptors. He can really do whatever he wants, because he knows Creator has no bank.
Yep, there's nothing even on the ground. I mean, there are Colossi, but the Corruptors can hit it. And if you just mass Corruptors at this point, as long as you get some good fungals on the Void Rays, without having your investor be pushed by the Locust to its death, you should be in a pretty good spot.
Well, with a weak ground army, he can start killing this base, which he knows is the last mining base of Creator, because he has units of both of the other bases. To see that there's nothing there, he's going to clean up these Zealots, because he knows Creator's like, okay, I got to spend some money. I got mineral bank only, and I'm going to harass, but then Banelings are ready for the defense, and here's that chain fungal. This looks like this could be the end for Creator here. Bigling attack over here. Zealots for the defense, but sup, there's Banelings with this one.
Banelings, Cracklings. Oh, man, they all go down immediately. That mining base is going to go down. He's going to win the fight in the mid as well. GG is called. And Shine takes a huge macro game against Creator to win this one for Samsung 3-1.
Creator using his play style, playing the way he loves to play this matchup, when unfortunately for him, his record in this matchup is now 2-11. And Shine just actually playing a very defensive game. Despite his weird hotkey and mouse pad problems, still able to pull out a solid win. And this is Samsung's first win. A good score for their indicator as well with the 3-1.
That it is. They improved their record against Prime now, 4-1 overall.
So a very solid late game play there by Shine. I know Artosis is watching. I know he's shaking his head, but he pulls out the macro. against somebody who's known for late game. That's why we saw such a long game there.
Yeah.
But he just played it better. And I really like the Baneling touch. Like you said, that little shine spice into late game ZVP against that death ball against a Void Ray Colossus. And, he was not shy to make a ton of spores. Only Yoda today able to take a win against Journey, but then the sweep. Hurricane, Armani, and Shine beating Tang Tang, Myung Shik, and Creator, respectively.
Yeah, and I need to take back my earlier statement with saying, if Samsung wanted to win, they would bring back a stronger lineup. These guys actually played so strongly. Even Journey, he looked pretty strong against Yoda, even though he lost. But Hurricane showing a great game. Armani showing some really strong Zerg play against an All-In. And Shine as well showing an amazing late game. I really loved all these Samsung players, and they're showing that they actually do have some depth in their lineup.
Closing thoughts from me on Journey is he got some booth experience today. Looked a little bit nervous. Maybe that next time he won't feel that way. Now he's got a little bit more experience on his back. So the Samsung roster is starting to look a little bit more solid after today's games for sure. But This was against Prime. We'll have to see how they fare against stronger teams coming up in the future.
That they will. Well, guys, we do have our next matchup. Don't go anywhere. After a quick interview, we're going to go into this. CJ Entis versus StarTale-yoe Flash Wolves. It's going to be Bill versus Hack, Hero versus Curious, Young versus Life, oh my god, and then Sky High versus San.
Yep, some really, really great matches in there. Hack makes a return. Curious versus Hero going to be a fun one. I think definitely Young versus Life and Sky versus San, the two highlight matches. Biel, a great Zerg player, but had a bit of a rough time recently. We'll see if he's back in form today. And, of course, neither of these teams have an advantage over the other because StarTale-yoe did not exist in Pro League until this season. So this is the first time they meet each other. And CJ wants to make a good showing for that, as well as StarTale wants to prove themselves as they had a bit of a tough time